Hello, welcome. You are tuned in to the Underwater Rugby channel, broadcasting live from Vienna, Austria. The next match coming up is between Betta and Malmö Triton. In blue for Betta, wearing number 4, Samueli Jusila. Number 8, Sergei Leonov. Number 9, Anton Churzin. Number 10, Henrik Nielsen. The captain, wearing number 11, Viktor Krylov. Number 12, Ilya Azorov. Number 15, Jim Holmbeck. Number 16, Alexander Bakanov. Number 33, Alexei Pryazhnikov. Number 39, Timu Letti. Number 88, Leo Selahoff. And number 99, Tom Holmbeck. On the other side of the pool, in white, wearing number 1, Carl Falk. The captain, wearing number 4, Andreas Bergen-Holtz. Number 5, Ann-Sophie Krakow. Number 6, Christopher Suarez. Number 7, Johan Fernlund. Number 8, Ulf Riedel. Number 9, Jens Westerlin. Number 10, Matthias Levin Persson. Number 11, Olof Bertilsson. Number 13, Stefan Poltergach. Number 14, Jürgen Persson. And number 15, Carl Oscar Seth. The referees this match. On deck, Robert Glock. In the water, Thomas Merck and Kaiser Lindman. Protocol referee, Wolfgang Denk. So, I'm joined here by Thomas Denk.
Also good morning from my side.
And you would have been playing, but you've been injured, and you will be playing.
I will be playing, yes. One of our players was injured, and I step up for him as substitute goalkeeper, most likely today. Yeah, we'll see how that is going. Will be quite a tough matchup today. I think Russia, Betta is here with one of their top teams.
They're missing.
They're missing Yuri Boyko from last game
due to the penalties from the fight. Yes. So they lost
Yuri Boyko.
Two players.
2 players actually. I thought it was only Yuri.
They lost.
Teams getting ready.
Tommy Suomalainen for one match, for one game.
Okay. So he will be playing tonight against Vienna and then tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be back. And somebody asked a question about the appeals. How does it work with an appeal? How many appeals are allowed with a video review? And I think that it is 2 per match, and you have to use a timeout if your appeal fails. And
Yes.
we'll have to check on the exact rules, but I think that means that it's not unlimited. So, but if you lose your timeout, then you effectively lose your. You have 2 timeouts during a match, so you could have 2 appeals in one half if your first appeal succeeds.
Yes.
If not, the second half you can still have another.
We'll see. We also saw one successful appeal today, where one goal was actually cancelled due to video review, which is very nice to see that actually referee scores can now be cancelled, which is very good for the players, because often if there is a really unfair call, it gets in players' heads, and if a team gets ahead by an unfair goal or by a missed score, this can change the whole shape of the match.
Were you watching it on the screen downstairs?
I was on the referee table at the time. Yeah.
It didn't look like a goal to us.
No.
Teams ready.
Might have been from the other side, from the referee on the opposing side, so didn't see the ball. All right, we are now at the kickoff, and Betta's got the ball right away.
Bakanov there.
Okay, they're playing on the surface, but
As they
classic
like to.
classic Betta play.
Pryazhnikov.
Very forceful, usually dragging the ball to the surface and then going down with usually more than one guy.
Ilya Azarov, they rip the ball away. They keep possession up on the surface. The Betta style is not that they only like fighting on the surface, but they like to have a quick attack from the surface, passing downward.
Yeah. Usually what the tactic is that you draw players towards the surface, binding at least 1 or 2 attackers on towards the guy with the ball, and then you have a quick pass and you have 3 people attacking the goal when no attackers are present from the opposing team, and then you've got quite a good chance to score if you do it properly. But against Betta, most teams are actually waiting for it, so they keep their attackers in the back, waiting for those attacks, and are not attacking on the surface. To
be lured into
the Betta trap.
Overcommitting.
Yeah. So it's free throw. Sorry, the free throw for Betta.
Did you see what it the?
I think it was holding. Yeah.
So they're down by the side there, and they're pass over.
They're trying to get out of the goal area. They're okay. He's been out of the playing field.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
So the ball goes back to.
Yet again, back to Betta. Yeah.
Betta. And the rule is that you have to have 2 meters distance between the player who's putting the ball into play, and they have how many seconds before they have to?
Usually you say you should be between 1 and 2 seconds of the referee call.
They pass down to the bottom. A solid defense there. 4 players.
Yeah.
No way you can go through that.
Malmö trying to scramble around the goal, have multiple players on the bottom side to block the Betta attacks, which are usually very forceful. They're a very strong team.
No.
But struggling to get hold of the ball, and now the Betta player is in a good position right on the head of the goalkeeper. Good attention there by the attacker for the first time, but now
that was
not a ball in possession for Malmö.
They've lost it. To Barry and Holtz.
Yeah.
So it's it stays down, and they come over 3 strong. They have forced to back out here.
Yeah. But actually a good call by the player. He saw that he might have had the breath left to start a full attack, and the other players were positioned for scoring. But at the same time, if you go in and you lose the ball, you might lose an offensive chance for a team. As we saw there, he just threw the ball somewhere in the middle of the playing field. And often if you pull back with the ball and resurface and do another try, it's actually better for the team and it takes time off the clock for the opposing team.
But I think it's Bakanov there who gone up to the surface. And you see he's very comfortable, Asarov it was, going very comfortable holding the ball on the surface one-on-one. It's not easy to get the ball away from these guys. Over on the strong side there, come up to the surface, breathing.
Yeah, they're very well acquainted to the surface play. They know how to handle the ball on the surface. They know how to keep the players away. So see there, one player with the stiff arm pushing the Malmö player away.
And if you overcommit to going in, then they pass right by you.
Yeah. At the same time, we see there number 3 from Betta, Alexei Viskanov, blocking the ball, the goal of Malmö, trying to force the defense down to the basket, thereby creating a chance for the players for a quick attack.
Side out.
Side out from Betta. So it's a free throw for Malmö.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds, yeah.
And just in case you're unfamiliar with the rule, if a player has the ball and they get pushed out, they lose. Their team loses the ball. It'll be out of bounds. It'll be a free throw awarded to the other team. Now Triton's coming in on the right side, and they've got to pass a player on the bottom looking for that scissors position.
Classic Mella position, which is one of the favorite plays from Bergenholzen. Traditional Swedish play.
He's actually kicking the goalie a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite controversial because very often you'll do minor fouls, which might not be in the moment very. Oh, there's his goal. Well played from Malmö there, bringing the ball to the open side.
Who was that?
It was number 9. Jens Westerlin. Yeah.
You wanna see
and he held it down in the basket a long time to show
that there's actually a score. It's quite important. I mean, the rules state that you have to show the referee that there was a score, but sometimes happens if the referee don't see the ball and you take it out quite quickly, that they will continue to play. It's an unfair play. It's not very sportsmanlike, but it happens.
Time out. Referee challenge.
Aha.
Okay, there's a referee challenge.
So here we get to see an example of Betta's one try for this half.
Yeah,
it could be 2 if they win this, but we'll see.
I don't really know why they're challenging it, because we saw one player in the Mella position. Maybe they want to gain an advantage by saying that he pushed the goalkeeper without having the ball prior to the actual score, but the score looked from our side, or from our perspective of view, the goal score looked very well done.
Let's hope that
just
a strong push.
All right.
So we see Tommy Jeppesen, Hannes Hoffman, and
Sophie. She's one of the Viennese female players.
Sophie. Alexander Kulov, the coach, standing there in the back.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't hear what they're saying. They goal stands.
Territory ruling on the field stands, yes, and we have a score for Malmö.
So they've lost
one timeout now. So.
And they cannot appeal again this.
Yeah. So they can appeal again this half.
Oh, they could appeal if there's a reason that the play is stopped and they appeal.
Yeah.
But they can't stop the play. Actually, they could commit a foul and stop the play and then make the appeal. We haven't. There's some things we don't know what will happen. Mm-hmm. They're theoretical with the new rule.
Yeah. Since it's not CMS approved, there is no certain standard yet.
No,
it's a trial phase in the Euroleague, which is very good because it might be implemented in the CMS rules as well, and might actually improve refereeing for World Championships and European Championships.
It came over very quickly there. So Prashnikov's, is it Prashnikov or Azorov.
Number
8.
here.
So, Bakanov.
That's Leonard.
Who was it? Oh, that's Leonov. Coming in from above, he passes behind his back. That was quite elegant. Is it going to pay off for them? Azorov twisting and turning over there, trying to. Krylov is down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Krylov is a key player for delivering the balls to other players to score. So now he's fighting, he's holding on, he's looking for a teammate to pass it to. I would call him a point player.
He's one of the key players, for sure.
And now the fight for the ball goes over to taking over.
It's also for Betta that they have like a tactical setup where usually Viktor Krylov or Yuri Boyko are delivering the ball to the basket. So we'll see how they will handle it today when Yuri Boyko is not here, and mostly Viktor Krylov most likely will be delivering to the ball. And I think Malmö knows this, and they will be taking special care of Viktor. And as we've seen right there, there were 2 attackers right on him, trying to block him away from the goal.
So they succeeded their tactic of fighting on the surface with 3 players, a big investment.
Yeah.
They got the ball paid off, and now they're controlling it on the bottom. But they're losing 1-0 here. Triton is ahead early in this because there are 9 minutes left in this match.
In this half.
In this half, yeah.
We see another attack on the bottom side, and immediately an attacker is on the Betta player.
So really we could say that Betta is not at all out of just deeply discouraged or anything like that. This is
No, Betta is trying their best.
Yeah.
They might want to try place 2 players on the same side of the basket rather than having 1 player.
They push behind the basket.
All right. Actually, we should get to the referee because this shouldn't be possible. So the basket should be fixed. And we.
Are they screwed in, or are they just lying on the bottom with the suction cups?
They're lying on the bottom of the suction cup, but they usually fixed very heavily, so they usually don't move.
White free throw, side out.
Out of bounds. Side out. It's funny that underwater rugby is got many languages: Spanish and Spanish and German, but English is not. It's a secondary language for underwater rugby.
Yeah, since there's no major English-speaking country on the verge of having a very well-known underwater rugby team, so it's mostly German teams or European teams. They're commentating for the most likely only happens for the Champions Cup or for Euroleague. So the commentating is usually in German, or quite often in German, or mixed language for the Colombian players. Oh, oh, that was close.
Oh, goal.
Yet another goal for Malmö. Nice quick counter attack on the basket. He pushed the ball underneath and then...
Goal White.
Quick forceful attack from the other side of the basket and to push the ball in.
Assist. Assist.
Seeing there the defender was not in place
to
defend against the quick attack.
Number 1. Number assist. Number 9 goal.
So.
Who scored that?
I think it was again against Wesleyan.
So Triton up 2-0. And Betta comes all the way over. Attacking from above was Viktor Krylov. Tom Holmbeck lurking on the bottom there.
They're just trying to bring the ball from above the basket, but they don't get the right angle and they're not able to push the ball through. And usually what we see right now is that Malmö is answering with a quick counter-attack, trying to push them back while they had a very forceful attack on the enemy basket prior to that. Ooh, that was really close. He just snatched the ball away right when he wanted to climb.
That doesn't look good for Betta, really.
Yeah. Betta doesn't really seem to have a plan to bring the basket to the guy who's trying to execute.
That could have just as easily been a score in favor of Triton.
So it was quite close there. What we saw there was usually a mistake a lot of rookies do is when you're ahead of the opponent's goalkeeper and you're trying to score a goal and you stretch your arm out as far as you can because you think you can reach the goal before the enemy goalkeeper, and he's getting a little bit of a speed advantage. He quite often can snatch the ball right out of your hand because you don't have any stretch.
Stop it.
If you're having the hand stretched out all the way.
Some kind of
Stop it.
Kaiser Lindman is warning players. So Elias sort of
Blue, free throw.
Seems the Betta is getting more anxious now that Malmö's ahead 2 scores. And they're defending quite well today.
Yeah, it's tough. 2-0. Now 6 minutes left in the first half here. They pass backwards, and then they dive down. Pyazhnikov passed it to, who is it now?
Malmö now being ahead, being a bit more up front of the basket, trying to minimize the space Betta has to actually deliver the ball closer to the goal, buying them some time before they actually have to get into close defense. And now again we see an attack from the bottom.
Vakanov was holding on to the basket there.
Yeah.
And the back is holding on to the basket as well here. Very clearly it could be called for an infraction.
It's been a roughing call against Betta. Yeah, rough play against Betta.
White, free throw. 3, pushing.
When this attack started with Berlis or Leo Selenov sitting on the one side of the basket, and the attacker tried to deliver the ball towards him, but he couldn't get rid of the ball because the attackers were doing quite a good job of fixing the ball in his arm, in his armpit, so he can't deliver it to his teammate.
Yes, not allowing somebody to pass the ball, that's one of the most basic tactics. Okay. Triton backing out. A pass to the bottom. And they're coming around on the right side. Leonov picks it off.
This is one of the most crucial situations in the sport if you're defending at your own basket and you regain possession of the ball, to have at least 2 players, if not 3 players, including the one with the ball, get in position, sprint away from the basket and trying to initiate this counter-attack as quickly as possible.
Yes.
There's on one hand the best scoring situations you will get if you get right through the entire playing field, and on the other hand, usually the other team is very anxious of getting the ball back themselves. So they will attack you with all the players they have, and you need at least some players to push through this first defense, to get some meters away from your own basket and to give your teammates some breathing room.
It's good to have a kick off the wall. And Ansevik Krakow coming in 1-on-3. In the end, she has to drop the ball to the bottom, or it's ripped away from her. Who's going to pick it up here? It looks like Triton held on to it. And now they lost it.
This is actually very
Leo
dangerous
Selenov,
pass.
yeah.
He was passing back to the last defender. The goal was open. And if one white player just quickly snatches the ball away, this is a very easy scoring opportunity for Malmö. Luckily, they could surface with the ball and push the play away, but now I think there's a holding or roughing foul against Malmö, and it's a free throw for Betta, which gives them some breathing room to get back into the middle of the pool.
Blue, free throw.
you can see a good example of a sawed-off snorkel. The players keep them as short as they can to not have to suck the air out through a long tube. Straight down. And he does a nice somersault, turns around.
From what I've seen right now, I've got a bit of feeling that they're a bit uncoordinated. They often have players already positioned at the enemy basket, whereas there are not enough players to actually deliver the ball closer to the basket. But right now, I wasn't able to fit the ball through underneath the Malmö player. And there again is a counter-attack from Malmö. Ooh. Victor Kluev there snatched the ball away again, but he was luckily held.
2-on-1.
Oh, that looked like a punch there.
But
which would be allowed if he hits the ball, but if he doesn't hit the ball and he punches the player, then yeah, that's quite a rough foul and can actually give you a 2-minute penalty against one of your players.
It wasn't a super hard punch though, but now Triton coming over again, and
they're doing like a double pass play here, trying to outplay the defending player, but he was doing a good job just following them back to his own basket, trying to make sure that they don't get a scoring opportunity. That's now a good opportunity, getting the ball right away to a counter player, and now he's got a one-on-one scoring opportunity. Very well done.
Wow.
I think it was Holmberg, wasn't it?
He just dropped it.
Yeah, it was Jim Holmberg.
Yeah, Jim Holmberg is a star.
Yeah. Very well positioned there when I think Victor Kluev was getting the ball out in the defensive play. And then executed a quick counter-attack, just leaping the ball, getting hold of him at the enemy player in the neck, negating any way to defend this play, and then just placing the ball in the basket.
That was very neatly done.
Yeah.
Timeout, blue.
So after they've scored here,
apparently you can take the timeout after you had a review, because blue is taking a timeout right now.
Their review was upheld then.
So apparently you keep your timeouts and you can simply review a play if necessary.
But you only get 2 per.
You only
per
get
match.
2, yeah, limited reviews per match.
But it makes a difference if you can use 2 in the same half.
Yeah. Would be very interesting to have similar. I mean, they are quite similar to American football right now, but usually when you have a review in American football and the review is successful for your team, you keep your timeout. So in this case, you would keep your review or your right.
You do keep it.
Your right to review, in general.
Yes.
So if you only lose the review when you have an unsuccessful one.
But that's true here too. That you keep your review if you succeed.
Successful.
But there's a limit of 2 per game, so it's not very liberal in that sense. No. But it's enough at least that you make the opponent think. You can stop the play and have a review. So, getting ready to start again.
Teams ready.
Since it was Betta that scored, Triton brought the ball out.
And they
now
lost
they've
it
lost
immediately. All right. Holding on the mask, grabbing the mask.
White, free throw. Grip on the mask.
It's actually very unlucky for Betta that he just grappled the mask there a bit with his arm. Usually you're trying to get hold of the shoulder of some part of the neck, and sometimes you just, when the enemy player is moving too quickly, you get hold of the mask and then it's an automatic foul.
Yes.
Which is very unnecessary and very easily to avoid, but it just happens sometimes. Okay.
Referee ball, or to the surface
You have
anyway.
to wait till the free throw found another white player. You're not allowed to attack before the ball hit.
All right.
Again, white
The Betta
free throw.
player attacked too quickly, so he eliminated the 2-meter radius. He entered the 2-meter radius and prevented the first free pass, which is not allowed, so the free throw is going back to
Out of
Malmö.
bounds.
But Team Holmberg, they are already on the ball. Very, very, very strong player, physically strong player. And we see that he tried to wrestle out the ball, but immediately Malmö player got it again.
1 minute.
That was kind of sneaky pass there, outplaying 3 players. Very well done. Now there's a good situation. Oh, that pass was not strong enough. He tried to pass down to the bottom to his teammate, waiting to score, but the pass wasn't strong enough, and the goalkeeper could get at least a little punch on the ball. This is certainly one thing that we see with Malmö, that their pass intensity and the speed the ball has is very much impressive. They're very precise at passing.
Coming in from above here. Waiting, Chuzin's on the other side, hoping to get a pass. Do you think Betta is gathering momentum, or?
I think they've been actually doing quite fine from the beginning of the match. They had possession for most of the time. Malmö just did a better job of executing their opportunities. They had 2 to 2.5 scoring opportunities, and they just simply used both of them. Had a quick play, quick attack, and scored, while Betta is trying to brute force a goal right now, and they don't seem to have that much luck with brute forcing a goal yet. Malmö doing a very good job of just pushing them away from the basket and having them at arm's length, I would say. So the goalkeeper usually keep their fins in between the players. They try not to let the player attack from above the goal. Betta is positioning players under the basket, whereas they seem to like players to bring the ball to the basket. So yeah, maybe they should shift a bit back to their surface strategy and try to have more players attack at once, so they might generate a better scoring opportunity. And try to pull Malmö away from the basket, because what Malmö is doing right now is they are keeping all the players back at the basket, defending very closely, so the attackers are usually looking for the open side of the basket, trying to counter any scoring opportunities there, and yeah, very well done.
Yep. There. What was its second goal? There was a challenge, and that challenge came from the referee. and the referee wondered whether Malmö Triton had used the wall or the basket in order to have an illegal hold and then score the goal. And then they determined that no infraction had occurred, and the goal stood. And so Betta didn't actually use up its appeal opportunity there. Their video review. Teams are on the sidelines talking things over. Triton has got to be pretty happy. Actually, Thomas is back. I can tell you a little bit about the appeal. That referee review was actually called by the referees, so it was not at the expense of Betta.
Okay, so it was a referee
They
call.
just wanted to know whether there had been an illegal grip on the basket or the wall in order to get in. And so that didn't cost Betta
so no
anything.
team was actually deducted the timeout.
They didn't lose a timeout. It was the referee's time that went. And the referees can call timeout anytime they have a reason to.
Yeah. All right, second half should be starting in just in
So
2 seconds.
there is a possibility that if you're coming in on the side with the basket, you might put your hand against the wall, grab the wall to pull. And in some way, it feels hard to call the player for this because they may not be thinking about it. They're just trying to get closer to the basket. But
Yeah. It's very tough for the underwater referees to see if there's actually active use of force by pushing away from the wall or grappling the wall, or if it's just a hand motion that's happening within the turn or within trying to grab another player.
when you're wrestling by the basket, of course you're not conscious of everything that your body is doing.
But then again, it's okay if you grapple, get hold of the basket and the referee sees it. It's a clear call. And sometimes it just happens in the moment. Right, Betta in possession of the ball.
Zarov struggled to the surface there. They pass down and lose the ball. And Triton's got to be pretty happy with the way this game is
There's a very good opportunity right now. The defender's not underneath the basket, but Malmö just getting hold back of the ball right there.
They're under pressure though.
Now trying to get the ball away from their own basket, but Betta's getting possession again.
Oh, they threw it away.
And now they threw it away. That's what we mentioned before. If there are not enough players from your own team trying to help and force the attack, you quite often struggle to get a fast counter-attack.
Yeah, you need outlet passes. And Betta comes up with the ball, and Verdi and Holt saw that and just took it away. Sometimes you can't see the player who's behind you or above you, and if you hesitate before you pass, then they see what you're going to do, and it's not a good outlet then anymore. Right now, Triton's holding on to the ball, controlling it pretty well from the outside.
Triton looking very well there, trying to look for the opportunity. Now they've got the ball delivered into the corner, but Betta already on the lookout.
That was out of bounds, or close anyway. Out of bounds refers to the ball, not to the player. The player's body can go out of bounds as long as they're holding the ball inside. Krylov passes between his legs to Jusele, who loses it. And the ball's going to not reach the bottom. It's picked up by, who was that?
You can see Krylov, he was pushing away the defender. Nice positioning there.
Passed over. They lose the ball. Up to the surface in a scrum. Betta likes this. This is a kind of this can't be good for Malmö to be involved in a lot of surface
This is usually because
fighting.
they're physically quite strong, so they usually have the upper hand on the surface. where they can breathe and use the full force of the muscle.
And they have good skills with moving the ball around, disguising it.
Oh, that was
he thought the referee was his player. Didn't he?
Yeah, I think he mistook the referee for a player there.
Because they're dressed dark in a dark suit. I thought it was the referee was a Betta player for a second there. Wow, it's a long pass. These guys are good at passing the ball some distance.
Yeah, but from what I've seen so far, the passes were not very precise up to now. So they quite often just throw the ball in some direction where they assume there's a player. But then there's not, and it's actually quite often close for Malmö to actually snatch the ball away. Which the important part which we see is usually you see from the body language and the positioning player, an attacking player has, if they want to attack or not, and if they have to put the fins directing towards the enemy basket. It is it takes quite a long time to actually get into offensive positioning again and going towards the goal.
To turn around.
To turn around, yeah. And what people should try is to actually position the ball when they pass so that the player can use the speed they already gathered and then attack the goal. And what we see from Betta right now is that they're passing the ball so far backwards that actually the players have to turn around to get the ball, and they're not in the attacking position, or not in the offensive position afterwards, so they lose the momentum, yeah.
So this was an attack on the mask, or
I think
attack on the head, attack on the mask? Free throw, Betta.
Yeah. There was a holding.
They come up with it. Holmbeck.
Holmbeck again at the ball.
There are two Holmbecks, so it's a Yin Holmbeck. Azarov's playing an important role in the team now with the absence of Boyko.
Yeah.
Because Boyko is the kind of guy who holds onto the ball and can go in and score at any moment.
Yeah.
So now we see Barry Holtz swimming on the surface. 1, 2, 3, 4 freestyle strokes, and then he's going down, coming in from above. He gets kicked.
That was a kick actually in the face. It's actually a play some referees would call and reward a free throw to Malmö if the attacking position isn't superior to the foul call.
And Sophie Krakow struggling forward, and
Actually impressed. She's really trying to get into the defense and trying to push the defenders away.
Is she strong or what?
She's really strong, yeah, especially for a female player. But when you compare it to the Russian players who are very, very physical and tough, as you've seen so far, I mean, it's a good motion. It's a really nice move, and but
she's going to switch out to exchange now.
Yeah.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Yeah.
So it paid off. Anne-Sophie, she held onto the ball long enough that she could let one of her teammates take over, and then they pushed the ball out of bounds.
Free throw, side out.
Out of bounds. I was comparing. When you look at the female players who have played in the Euroleague, say Denise, she's your teammate, and all respect to her, but she's not physically strong enough to cope with these players. Even though she knows what she's doing, it's harder for her.
She's quite strong for a woman, especially on our team. For the Austrians, I would say she's one of the strongest women on the Austrian teams. But yeah, it is generally very tough for women to compete in this league because the physical aspect of the game has increased so immensely over the last years. You see the players who are usually doing a lot of strength workout, substituting sometimes a stamina workout, and so gaining possession of the ball and keeping the ball, especially in offensive play. In defense, it's easier than in offense because in the defense and the positioning as a goalkeeper, which we see Anne-Sophie playing right now, it is if you have the right motion, the right movement, and you have good pressure with the fins on the basket, it's actually quite tough to attack women sometimes because they are very, very slim and you can't get a hold of them properly. Oh, we see a nice attack there, but the attackers. Oh, there's a nice pass downwards.
Opportunity. Oh, they couldn't
Oh,
quite
that
close
was
the deal.
close.
Oh, that was close.
He already had the head up, but he just couldn't fit the ball through. That was very lucky for Malmö that they
Leona stopped.
didn't equalize there.
Yeah.
And now a good counter-attack. I think it's Bergenholzen
Bergenholz,
who's
yeah, he's gone
actually
all-
going for the goal. The two
And-
players, one very good scoring position. Yet again the same play. Oh, but he's
scored.
Gets a good grab on the neck, and there's the score. Very well played there.
Excellent
Yeah.
play by Bergenholz there.
Goal wide.
So this is a typical example of when the team gets close to scoring and fail,
Yeah.
then they can be hurt immediately afterwards.
Usually the problem is that if you overinvest players and you have 4 to 5 players attacking the enemy basket, trying to generate the opportunity, and you don't score in this situation, you only have one player on the defensive end. If the enemy seizes the opportunity properly, then as you've seen it right now, is that you have 2 players against the goalkeeper. One is blocking, one is on the open side of the basket, and that's the best scoring opportunity. Wouldn't get better than that except for an open basket maybe.
No. And the Bergenholz, he fought his way over to the basket there, made an extra effort.
Yeah.
He knew that there was an opportunity to score. And he was going to create it.
One more time.
So now Betta's got a little under 8 minutes left, or 7.5 minutes, and they have to come up with an answer. Strip the ball away. And now Holmbeck's got it. Now coming all the way over from the top. That's Tom Holmbeck. Anton Truzin, here he comes on the left side. He passes between his legs. Goes round. Oh, nice pass.
Very nice pass, but it just seemed to not be able to execute the last final centimeters.
It was close, it was close.
He had the push, he had the force on her neck, but just doesn't get through.
Very beautiful underwater rugby, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, we see the same play again.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Falls
he
into the
tried
backs.
to push it. But he got it back.
Yep.
Where's Bergenholz, I think.
so it's a new attempt here.
We see one
And
play in
they've
a
got
Merlot
the-
position, but yeah, he's getting pushed
He
away
was,
as soon as the ball hits
off
him.
the bottom, yeah.
And that's the opportunity they should see is now they should initiate a quick counter-attack, have a player at the front.
Krylov,
Yeah, he didn't have any
Loose it.
assist there, so all the players were at the back. Malmö now in repossession of the ball.
Dukanov trying to strip it away. And
Oh yeah, I was expecting the referee call there. He was pushing the
Come
ball
on. Oh, come on.
onto his
Go
throat.
ahead. Do free throw.
Yeah.
you think it was choking? Or
Yeah, he wasn't actually joking, but he was attacking the ball from behind. He was pushing the ball in the throat, which sometimes happen when you fix a ball from the backside.
Yes.
But it's quite uncomfortable for the player with the ball, and usually the problem is that the other player is not able to wrestle the ball free, and so you're getting choked on the water. But it's a fair play because you're still in possession of the ball.
It's an uncomfortable position,
Yeah.
as you say.
I think there was a holding situation at the basket.
So what do we
Yeah.
have here?
Yeah.
Holding called against.
Holding call against Betta. He was wiggling through
Wide
the
free
basket,
throw.
trying to
Kicking.
push the defender away, but referee caught it.
There you can see that Betta just dropped the ball on the bottom. They have no obligation to hand
Yeah.
the ball over to their opponent. The opponents have to swim down to get it, or
Yeah.
the referee can pick it up, but they usually don't.
Yeah.
It was not.
It was again obstruction.
Too
He attacked.
fast.
Yeah, he attacked too fast inside the 2-meter radius, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't
had
allow
it-
3 seconds.
They didn't allow the 3 seconds.
Wide free throw.
So
There's a warning for number 11 right now.
for Krylov.
Apparently clear, I guess. I'm not sure if it's white or blue.
Blue free throw.
White. Warning to white.
Okay, from this match. From this match. Okay. I would say Barry Holtz.
I think it was again pushing the defender without the ball. We will see. Yeah.
This is
It's the same mistake Betta makes
Wide
again. They
free
lose the
throw.
ball, which is very tough for them. They have one player who's trying to gain a better position underneath the basket, but he's actually pushing the defender away. And referees, they are now on the lookout for it, and they will get it every time.
this is also an interesting game to consider, as
Why
you're saying
don't
that.
Malmö again in the Malmö position, having two players underneath the basket.
Oh, another score. It was Barry and Holtz again.
Yeah. Very weird though that Betta didn't place the defender underneath again when there was about 2 seconds.
Wide.
It appeared that the game stood still. It's right there, the defender is moving upwards. And yeah, the defender was just too late.
Who was it who
There
scored?
Visiting number 8.
I think it was Ulfredell, yes. It's 4-1 already for Malmö, showing a very good performance today.
Absolutely, and also Betta is facing this problem that they have lost 2 players.
Blue
to
free throw, holding.
But Betta has
play to the 1 game ban and a 3 game ban. So that those are 2 key players also. Tommy Suomalainen, an excellent player, and they're big, heavy for scoring. Waco.
Yet they seem to struggle a bit with standard plays like keeping the ball in possession of their own team. Oh, that was a very quick counter attack, very forceful.
Oh, that was definitely
a
dirty play there.
Dirty play there, but I think the referees, due to the superior positioning and the open basket, they let the game follow through.
But that was not good. That was a grab of the face mask.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that it hurt the player very much, but it interfered with their vision if the water floods into their mask. Tom Holmbeck.
You basically you disable a player for a couple of seconds if you push the mask away.
They have to go to the surface to clear their mask.
Yeah.
So Betta to the surface, but doesn't see the threat from behind. Manages to hold on to the ball nonetheless. And a pass over now.
Oh, that would be a very good scoring opportunity if a Betta player would already be positioned underneath the basket, but they're really struggling to get the player in the right positions.
This
now
is
again, trying to
good sequence by Betta here. He's pulling the goalie's leg, trying to get him off.
Yeah, they're trying to increase the pressure, but Malmö doing a very good job. Malmö's attackers especially doing a very good job of it, of locking the ball within the player who is actually attacking the goal. So the players who are positioned underneath the basket are rendered completely useless, and they have to leave the position, which gives Malmö again the chance to regain the spots underneath the basket.
So they're a step too slow here, really.
Yes.
Krylov hassling. And then we saw that was an example. The back came off, challenged a little bit, but you could already see from his body language that he wasn't going to really make an attempt. So this is one of the key things, body language. If people see that you're tired, they know that you don't really constitute a threat. So sometimes a player will show that they're really into getting into a wrestling match for the ball, but actually they aren't. But that psychologically they have done the right thing. Calm down, calm down.
Blue free throw.
Free throw in favor of Betta. Bizarre puts it into play, and now very nice, but the pass there, and he's right above the basket. He's got a chance. Ansvi Krakow is forced off.
He pulled it off the basket, but he couldn't just place the
No,
ball in
the
basket.
goalies covered it up again immediately. Good play.
The score actually is a bit misleading because Betta did have scoring opportunities. Quite often they could have had easily 2 or 3 more goals, but they just missed them by a couple of centimeters by the execution in the end of the goalkeeper.
They lacked a little bit of force in finishing it off.
Wide
Which is
free throw.
when Boyko goes there, he puts the ball in. The guy's amazing. But now this game is pretty much decided because there's a minute left. It's 1-4.
There's basically no chance
There's
for,
no
for
chance.
Betta now to regain
We'll have a
to even the game out.
post-match interview with Andreas Beringholtz.
Yeah.
Struggling on the surface. This
One minute. 1 minute.
elegant play.
That was a good move there, playing the ball right on the surface and the player in the corner. But the player turned in the wrong direction, so he turned towards the defending player rather than towards the wall. If you turn towards the wall when you receive the ball like that,
defense,
you can you have the defense side from the wall, and you can actually push with your upper arm again, and then place the ball inside the basket. But it's something you have to practice because you're so used to move away and turn away from walls just psychologically.
Yes.
That you have to practice during training sessions to just move towards the wall side and then push.
I think that's one of the. That's it. That's the end of the game.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the end of the game. It's
So
4-1 for Malmö here.
Triton triumphant.
Very well played by their defenders as well as their attackers, we gotta say.
Go down and do an interview. You're going to stay around oh no, now it's lunch break.
We'll see you in the afternoon.